Alright, Chad, I got some things off my chest. I got some things. I want to talk about the DMC storyline. Okay? 3, 1, DMC 2007, and that's it. We'll acknowledge 2, but we can't really talk about it because there's no story to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the synopsis of the story and then fan fiction my way through the fucking shit, bro. No, we're not doing that, bro. So, let's get started. In Devil May Cry 3, we start with a Dante that is young. He's in his early days. I would say 17, 18, right? And he's young, arrogant, cocky, and an asshole. Yup. And to put it bluntly, he is a dick, bro. He is not the mess. He is not the nicest man on earth, bro. He's not the nicest man on earth. So, Dante in Devil May Cry 3, in missions 1 through 11, he is cocky, right? Towards demons. He's cocky towards demons. He's arrogant towards those demons, right? His assholeness is really towards Lady. He's an asshole towards Lady. He's a dick toward Lady. He's kind of a menace, if that makes sense, right? So Dante and his interactions with Lady begins with Lady trying to kill him because Lady mistaken him for a demon. Right, Lady mistaken him for a demon, so that's their first interactions. And so after that, Lady leaves, and the next time they meet, Lady tries to shoot him again. But this time, it confirms her beliefs. She maybe thought he was a demon because her father, right? Now, what do we know about her father? Arkham is a human turned demon. So that's enough for Lady to not trust anything around her. And so, when Lady shot Dante and Dante lived from that shot to the fucking forehead, Lady already knows that this person is a demon, right? And then the next time they meet is in a hallway. Lady sees Dante next to Arkham. Arkham is on the ground, presumably dead. That's what it looks like, right? And I'm leaving some things out, but the point is, in the context of the situation, for Lady's point of view, it looks like Dante killed Arkham. But Lady, instead of just fighting, she actually asks, "Did you kill this man?" And Dante's asshole, in the most asshole way, replies and says, "So what if I did?" And as you know, the last time they meet, they fight. The next time they meet, they fight. And that's the last time they really see each other all the way up to the end, right? And Dante, at that point when they meet again, Dante's changed. He's not an asshole anymore, right? And we're going through this quickly. I don't want to spend too long on the fact that he said something like, "Why of so what if I did?" Right? I'm not trying to. I don't want to focus on that. I focused on that a lot on my first take, but we're not gonna focus too much on that. I think you get the point. That's pretty dickish to say and very much of an asshole thing to say. So Dante in mission 12, Lady says, "You are a demon. What would you know about family?" Right? Along the lines, paraphrasing. So that really shook Dante to his core because he has family. He knows. If anything, let's actually take a step back. The way Dante is treating Lady before the switch, right? Before he understands his purpose there being right, like what he has to do, the before he understands his responsibilities to what he has to stop at Timmy right? Before he understands that, Dante knows better. He knows not to be acting the way he's acting when it comes to Lady. He can act however he wants towards demons because those are demons, right? But him treating Lady as he should, as he did, that's not cool at all. I don't entertain that actions. That's dickish and that's very much of an asshole, right? That's how an asshole acts. The way he treated Lady, in missions 1 through 11 or 10. 1 through 10 or to 11, right? But the point is, during mission 12, that's when the change happened in mission 12 to 20. Dante really showed that he's taking responsibility for something that he didn't really cause himself, but he needs to stop because it's his family business and it's ruining somebody else's life. It ruins somebody else's family because of his own family, right? And he's taking responsibility of it, right? Now, by the end of the game, he fights Virgil and he can't save his brother. He tried to. He wasn't trying to kill his brother. He was trying to save him. He was trying to bring him home, actually, back to his shop. Because where else would he go, right? If he was to save him, they would just go back to his shop, right? He'll let happily ever after, right? But by the end of the game, Dante and Lady they meet up again because Lady also gives Dante to kill her father for her, right? To stop him, actually. And let's go back to Arkham. So they fight Arkham, like Dante and Virgil. They fight Arkham. Arkham, he falls out of hell, lands in front of a lady that's on top of the Timmy McGrew, right top of the tower. Lady kills her own father. Now here's the thing. Here's what makes this is why the story is so good, right? I forgot to glaze the story. The story is a very good story. I encourage everybody to play it for the fucking story. Don't play for the combat. You can play for the combat on your second playthrough. On your first playthrough, you should be paying attention to the story. God damn it! What the fuck is wrong with you? What? Right? Especially if you are a grown man, you should be playing the game for the story on your first playthrough. Your second playthrough is when you play the game for the combat because the game gets harder, right? So yeah, I think that's like a no-brainer right there, right? So Lady kills her own father, right? Let's get back to that. Lady kills her own father, but she cries. She cries because she literally just killed her own father. To her, like, yes, her father has become a demon, but that is still her father. Her father has done heinous things, kills thousands of people, along with Virgil. Virgil killed 1,000 people too, because of Timmy McGrew rising out of the fucking ground. That killed thousands of people. Not only that, sending more demons into the world. There was already demons in the world, chat, but now there's just more demons, right? And it's all because of Virgil and Arkham. And so, Lady kills Arkham and she cries because she killed her own father. She's human. On top of that, the whole situation's crazy, bro. On top of this demonic tower, your hell is right above you. Now you know there's no heaven. Like I would be crazy. I would go manic. I would go insane if I was a lady. Actually, you know what's funny, right? On my when I played the game again, because I had to re-get the game. When I was playing the game again, I thought Lady was going crazy at the end, which made sense because she's only human, right? So yeah. After that, Virgil, blah blah blah, does not want to go back to the human world because he says in his own words, "This is our father's home. I'm staying here. Unless you want to stay here, Dante, I would leave." Right? Um, Dante leaves Virgil in the underworld. I wouldn't. I would have caught him. I would have jumped down. Actually, Devil May Cry 2 would have been Dante in the underworld, right? But but yeah, you know, Dante, after leaving his brother from the underworld, escaping the underworld, escaping Timmy McGrew too, right? Because he either jumped off the tower or climbed the tower, one of the two, right? Climbed down the tower, like going through, like down the tower, not, you know what I mean, right? I don't know, 6, 7. But after all that, after all the events, missions 1 through 20, Dante is sad. Not only that, right? You got to think about it. The way he treated Lady, right? Missions 1 through 11, the way he treated Lady, right? The way he dismissed her, dismissed everything, and then like the things she went through, right? And then he had to leave his brother in the underworld. Lady asks, "Are you crying?" Right? And in the game, I don't know if they showed any tears, but Um, I forget about just that scene, but I'm sure that they didn't show any tears, chat, which is so interesting. But he is crying. Some people cry without the visual tears, so Dante was crying, and he said it was only the rain, but it wasn't raining. And I don't know why. I feel like this to me killed the mood. Because it then cut to Dante shooting at a demon, and he said, "This is what I live for," right? And I'm crazy about it, which is just like, what, right? Like it kind of like thinking about it now, right? It kind of throws me off. Like you're probably hyped as fuck that it happened, but it's just like in retrospect, it really don't like it makes it like it makes zero sense emotionally. It makes no sense, right? I feel like I feel like the story, like if you wanted the story to really hit, they should have just ended it there. Are you crying? And he just never cry, and then like they ended off with them talking, right? Dante goes home. You know they have a lady monologue the shit, right? Does that the voiceover shit, right? And you see Dante in his Devil May Cry 1, and then he rings the he picks up the call and he says Devil May Cry, right? So that's a good it's a good story. Devil May Cry 3 is a wonderful fucking story, chat. I would highly recommend playing it first for the story and then playing it second for the combat, because the combat in that game is so fucking good, bro. It's better than Devil May Cry 5 in my opinion. Right? It flows better because the weapons. But yeah, after that story, it flows into Devil May Cry 1 seamlessly. After Dante going through all those things, he's learned, he's understood that there are just as evil humans as there is evil demons. And I find that that's very good writing, Chad. That's like extremely good writing in my opinion. It's really good writing for its story for Devil May Cry 3. So Devil May Cry 1, it's an adventure story turned into a revenge plot. It's very simple. But Dante's character carries on into Devil May Cry 1. You get this stoic, chill, cocky, arrogant badass, right? Just to glaze it a little bit, be a little bit over the top, oversaturate some of his characteristics, right? Um, Dante in Devil May Cry 1, for the most part, he's chill. He's matured. I want you to remember that. He's chilled. He's matured. He is a few years older than what he was in Devil May Cry 3. Understand that. Like really understand that. And we're gonna cut to the chase. He fights this thing called Nella Angelo 3 times. This thing, it looks like a knight. It has this cape going on, horns, but it really looks like a devilish knight, right? And Dante, he fights it 3 times, but on the third time, he finds out that this thing is his brother. This thing, Nella Angelo, that he said that it had guts and honor, is his brother. By the way, the thing acts like Dante. Like, it has the same uh characteristics as Dante is. And I said this in my first take on this video that the only explanation to why Nello Angelo acts the way he does is that Virgil was thinking about Dante upon his death, which makes the most sense. Which is why Devil May Cry 3 is so good. The writing is really good, right? The fact that I could theorize that maybe Virgil was thinking about his brother upon death, which is why he has attributes of his brother, right? Because mind you, Nello Angelo acts like Dante. It's supposed to be like a mirror to Dante in Devil May Cry 1, right? It acts like Dante, it has the same exact taunt as Dante, right? It's kind of like the shadow from Devil May Cry 3, right? The shadow that Dante fights is he fights himself, right? In Devil May Cry 1, it's kind of like he's fighting himself. But it turns out it's his brother that he's fighting. His twin brother, Virgil. And this is who he's been turned into. This hollow version of himself. That's not really himself. He's acting like Dante, which makes no sense, but makes the most sense because that means Virgil died thinking about his brother. and he got turned into this thing that's not him, right? And he's not even acting like himself. He's acting more so like his brother. It's very good writing in my opinion. Well, good theorized writing that fits the plot and narrative and structure of the prequel to the sequel to Devil May Cry 1, right? Devil May Cry 3 to Devil May Cry 1, right? But he fights his brother and then he understands that this is the fate his brother this is his fate after being in the underworld. This is what he sees his brother as. That makes him piss, and as you know, he fights Mundus, right? But I'm gonna go back. You know, he met Trish in the beginning of the game, right? He met Trish, and Trish looks like his mother, and we're gonna speed right through it. Eventually, Trish backstabs Dante, right? So you gotta understand this demon that looks like Dante's mom backstabs him. So and you gotta realize Dante in the beginning of the game knew that Trish was a demon right from the get go. He knew that was a demon right from the get go, and yet he trusted this person, this demon, like it was a person, because he understands not all demons are bad because he's a demon himself, and he knows all not all humans are good because he's fought one that was a demon. It was just as evil as a demon, right? So eventually, right, they become friends, right? But it's more so friends through trauma and the situation, right? And it's also the fact that Trish looks like his mom, so it's kind of like an emotional attachment, right? And Devil May Cry 2007 anime follows those events from Devil May Cry 1, and it really follows Dante's psyche, his mentality, right? And he's doing these missions. He has a very specific mission in the anime that deals with a little girl, but we're not going to talk about. I just want to talk about Dante's character, but it does involve that little girl. Dante in that game, he's kind of cold. He's stoic, but he's more depressive. There's like a sense of sorrow to his character now in DMC the animated series, Devil May Cry the animated series of 2007, right? So let's actually get the storyline, right? Because I'm actually done. I'm done, right? So we got Devil May Cry 3, young brash asshole Dante that learns his mistakes. He learns to take responsibility for things that may not be his because it's part of his family. So he that's his responsibility, right? So he takes the responsibility. He owns up, and then it's just like he learns, right? He grows up. He becomes mature, and then that maturity you see it in Devil May Cry 1, but that maturity actually hurts him. His kindness hurts him, right? We see that for how he treats Trish and how he's so open to Trish, and then Trish backstabs him because he's kind. And then the thing is, chat, those events follow into the anime, the 2007 anime. And so you got this Dante that's still Devil May Cry 1 Dante, but now it's filled with sorrow, deep sorrow, maybe some regret. Like there's so many things going on in Devil May Cry 2007 anime. Like the story for Dante's character, it's there. It's very present in 3 all the way to 2007 anime, and we're gonna skip over 2, but we could theorize 2 real quick. My guess for Dante and Devil May Cry 2 that he was going to be stoic but serious. He was going to still be arrogant and cocky as hell this time, but arrogant and serious. Right? He was going to be this serious Dante. Like a definitive Dante. Like Dante at his core. The Dante that's been built up since Devil May Cry 3 to 2007 anime. A stoic, a serious, a humble, a Dante that knows that shit needs to be done when shit needs to be done, and he can have fun. Yeah, they can write him to have fun, but it needs to make sense. It needs to match the character that's been built, brick by brick, right? So we can only theorize what Dante was gonna be like in Devil May Cry 2. A lot of people think he's depressed because he doesn't say anything. Hello, are we in the same fucking reality? The game is unfinished. The reason why Dante doesn't say anything in Devil May Cry 2 is because there's no fucking lines input. The game is unfinished. The story is unfinished. The voice acting is unfinished. The game itself, the levels are unfinished. The entire game and story is unfinished. You have the story synopsis, yes. You know what the main plot's about, yes. But you don't understand. You don't. The story's not finished. You don't understand that the story's not finished. So I can't say any much. Everything I just said for Devil May Cry 2 is a theory based upon the facts that are given and the structure and the storyline that was already presented to us through the prequel 3 to the 2007 anime. Now we get to 4. I don't know who that person is in 4. It is Dante. It has characteristics of Dante. But here's the thing. Why is Dante in 4 an asshole? Right? Why is he an asshole? Oh, he's not an asshole. You know, he's just so strong. You're LARPing and making fan fiction. Okay, so like, do I need to explain the goddamn character arc that Dante was going through the prequel, from the prequel Devil May Cry 3 all the way to 2007 anime, and then we get to 4. It seems to me Dante had a soft reboot in his character. If you want to hear my thoughts on 5, it's the same thoughts of how waifu Rant feels about 5. But here's some things that I personally feel about 5 to add. That waifu probably not, he does not feel the same. It is a fun game, yes. It is a enjoyable story, yes. But for me, I cannot look past the fact that waifu broke down. It is a fact of what he said about Dante's character. Dante's character in Devil May Cry 5 did not learn anything. Like, why is Virgil alive? Virgil killed him. He wasn't. It wasn't like. Here's the thing. Dante in Devil May Cry 3 is young. Virgil and Devil May Cry are young. They are savable. They are redeemable. Even though Virgil killed thousands of people, he is still redeemable. He's in a redeemable phase because he's young. He could be doing this because he's emotional, right? He's doing this because he wants more power. That's a very emotional thing to do, and we know why. It's not just surface level, like he just wants to get stronger. No, we know why he wants power. So at that point, he's still redeemable because we understand why Virgil wants power. But Devil May Cry 5 Virgil, he wants power just to kill everything. That's why. He doesn't care about getting power to protect himself. That's not the reason. That's LARP material if you think that's the reason why he's getting power in Devil May Cry 5. The reason why he's getting power in Devil May Cry 3 is because he wants to protect himself, including Dante. He does not like his brother, right? But he does care for his brother, just not in the normal way. It's a very toxic love. They do love each other, just not in the way that you expect. They love fighting each other. They love it. That's how they bond. That's why they care for each other. That's why Virgil didn't kill his brother. Like, he tried to kill his brother, but that's why he didn't successfully kill his brother. Because one, he needed his brother, and two, the nigga low-key care about his brother. Right? It's only in Devil May Cry 5 Virgil really starts to try to kill everybody, including the entire fucking world. Virgil in Devil May Cry 5 had enough of losing and just wants to kill Dante. This is not about trauma. This has like the story. Like, bro, when it comes to the story of Devil May Cry 5, I don't like it. I think the story is dumb. Like, why are we still talking about trauma? I think the only thing that could work if the story was centered around V and Virgil, and that's it. It wasn't focused on Nero. If it wasn't focused on Dante, if it was just strictly on, like, if the game was about Virgil and it was only about Virgil and we played as Virgil and like, let's say we played as a weak Virgil, right? Because as you see in the cutscene for Virgil when he was weak, he was strong enough to kill demons, which means imagine having a game you play as a weaker Virgil. The game kind of is like it's kind of like Souls like, right? But it's Devil May Cry. It's stylish, but Souls like because Virgil's weak. He's going against these demons. He fights Mundus and wins. You know that, right? He fights Mundus again and wins. I don't know if it was the Risen that fought Mundus or Sick Virgil. If it was Sick Virgil, that's crazy. If you actually think about it, that means he was so fucking pissed and mad that even in his sickness he had so much strength. That could kind of show that even in his humanity he was so strong. He was strong, but in his rage he was so blinded by his rage he didn't realize that he already had the power. So when he separated himself, he separated his power. That's why he lost. Like, you see what I just created a better story than 5. That should tell you that I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, chat, you have a good one. I fucking love you guys. I love Devil May Cry. I love the reboot, but I really love Devil May Cry 3. I really love Devil May Cry 1. I love Dante. I love the original character. But you guys gotta stop acting like that. This game, because it's not the exact same fucking story. It's not the exact same character traits. That it's bad. That's horrible. That is LARP. That's a LARP perception of the goddamn game, and it's ignorant. It just shows that you are not educated. Because when it comes to literature, nothing needs to be the same. When it comes to adaptation, nothing needs to be the same. When it comes to rebooting it, nothing needs to be the same. When it comes to an artist copying somebody's work, guess what that is? Plagiarism. So when Ninja Theory was tasked to make this game, they could not make the same thing even if they wanted to. It would always be different. Because why would they remake Devil May Cry 3 when Capcom could do it themselves? Anyways, you guys have a good one. And that always, I love you guys. Shout out to Big X. Shout out to Celeste, right? I forgot your name. I feel like I pronounced it wrong, but the girl that draws, the woman that draws, good drawer, makes me want to get back to drawing. I remember I drew myself a portrait of myself. But other than that, you have a good one, and you have a good one. Everybody have a good one. Bye.